War Pipe Wednesday.
Look at us looking festive.
Where are we playing this?
Red and green, baby.
The only reason I wore this hat is because, and what's funny is I actually had red flannel on earlier
Okay.
because my daughter had like a Christmas musical, like she's in chorus at her school, so she was singing. So I put on like a red flannel, trying to look all good. And then my wife brought these little hats for my son to wear. And then the Penguins were playing afterwards, so I put the hat on because I was like, it's whatever. I'll wear my Penguins hat while I'm watching the game. And the reason I left it on is because something incredible happened that I've never seen ever before, at least by the Penguins. I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do it except on like a highlight video. But during the game, in the last minute and like 10 seconds of the game, the goalie scored an empty net goal.
Nice.
That was so rad. So that was really cool.
Sweet. So he's like, I'll leave it on.
Yep, so I'm leaving it on.
I had mine on. We ended up going to the tree farm. We didn't get a real tree this year, but we still wanted to go to Jones Tree Farm to have the experience. Essentially, we go there, you get hot apple cider. We were able to get the ornament that they have each year that they make. They had fresh cookies that they made, and then we sat by the fire pit and took a few pictures around the tree farm.
Some family photos.
Yeah.
No, do you guys send out Christmas cards every year?
We didn't last year or the year before, but we're planning on taking some photos. Supposed to be making a shoot with David Apuzzo, so
Somehow it doesn't surprise me you were going to say that name.
We'll find some time to get that going, and send something out.
So every year, all of our close friends send us these beautiful Christmas cards of them and their families and some little update and blah, blah, blah. Me and Haley never send them. We are so lazy.
Oh, okay. You never decided to take
So all our friends probably think we hate them or we forgot them. But the fact is, we don't send them to anyone because we suck.
We did end up taking Gwen to see Santa Claus as well. We went to Bass Pro Shop. I don't know if they have those where you are, Jay.
Absolutely. We're in the South, bro. That's all they do is fish and hunt down here.
So I've never been into the store before. So we went down there because they had free pictures with Santa. You would get one free photo, but then you can buy, extra stuff. So she cried a little bit, but then kind of warmed up to him. So that was good. And then we went browsing around the store because it's like 2 floors. There's a bowling alley in there with an arcade.
Wow.
A restaurant.
It's like IKEA.
Right. And there's like at least a few hundred, I would say, taxidermied animals in there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then they made an announcement over the like loudspeaker thing, and they're like, we're going to be feeding the fish and back if anyone wants to come and check that out. So 2 guys came over and were like throwing whatever fish food in there, and all the big fish were swimming up, eating it.
Yeah, they got some big old fish in there.
So I was like, all right, we'll have to come back here because the bowling alley looked pretty sweet with the arcade. They had the ball return was a like shark mouth, so the bowling ball would come up through it.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And then last night I did end up I went to New York City with Steph.
Oh yeah, you guys saw Josh Groban and company.
So listen to this.
Oh, here we go.
So we were going to see Sweeney Todd on Broadway. Josh Groban was singing, and we specifically chose that night to go see Josh Groban. And Steph got an email, I think that morning or the night before, that Josh Groban will not be appearing at that particular event.
The old bait and switch.
So the stand-in guy would be performing. So they said we'll offer refunds if anyone wants a refund, but we couldn't logistically go again because we'd have to find another babysitter and time off from work. And
I would have just got my money back.
So we just ended up going anyways. And it also was the tree lighting for the city as well. So it was like mob there, and there was certain streets that were like barricaded off, and there was cops everywhere because we were going to try to go to the Nintendo store. But since Nintendo is right there at Rockefeller Center. There was no way we were getting over there.
So no wrapping paper for Russ.
Right. So we ended up the show started at 8, so we went there and I think it went for an hour and a half, had an intermission, and then it was like an hour again. The stand-in was great. He, I felt personally he didn't look the part as well
Right?
because he had a complete like shaved head and maybe a little beard, whereas Josh Groban kind of had like the full beard going on, some straggly here, so he looks more like
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd should be. But the guy sang great. Crowd was great too. They were like clapping at everything. So it's definitely a good time. Steph says she thinks is one of the best plays she's seen.
I wonder how long they knew Josh Groban wasn't gonna be there. I bet they've known for a while.
Because we said he probably maybe ditched to go see the tree lighting or something else, something like that. So we're like, because he's only supposed to be on in the play till January, and then the new step in was going to come in and keep it going.
What a loser.
So, but then so we got out of the play about 11:15. So Steph was like, "Okay, you want to go walk to the tree now? I'm sure it's died down." So we were able to head over there, see the tree, and took a few photos of that in front of the tree at Rockefeller Center. Let's see, where is it? There, I can show you guys a photo if you're watching on the YouTubes there. But there's the Rockefeller tree.
Oh, I feel like Kevin McAllister right now.
Yeah, I like the star on it. It's pretty good. And then we grabbed a selfie in front of it.
Oh, look at that cute couple. Look at that
So,
Samus,
oh yeah, I did
spirit tag.
made my own Samus hoodie. Um, so then we're walking back. I ended up getting some Nathan's fries at like a food cart
I don't even know what
because
that is.
Nathan's like hot dogs. No,
Must be a northern thing,
I
bro.
guess so because they have like Nathan's was big in Coney Island in New York, and they had a few Nathan stores around. Um, but we got our train. Our train was I want to say 12:30. So we got on the train already tired,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's still like an hour and a half, I think, train ride back to where we
So
are
you're
in
getting back at,
Connecticut.
like, 2.
Right. So we're going, and I was like, oh, we'll shut our eyes, like whatever, this and that, and kind of in and out of sleep. So I wake up, and then Steph looks at me, and she's like, we missed our stop."
Oh, shoot.
I was like, ah. So our stop was Milford. The next stop is West Haven, where we live, but we just drove to Milford because her mom lives in Milford, so we had to drop the baby off at the mom's house. So the
Gotcha.
car was over there, so we got off in West Haven. I was like, "Guess we're walking home."
Oh, dang. How far of a walk is it?
It's honestly not that far. Like, I'm not gonna call an Uber at 2 a.m. for like the distance of walking,
Was
but
it
I was like,
like 2 miles or
yeah, but yeah, I'd say 2 miles. Yeah, I mean, it was like we've been walking all day in New York City. Like, it's the same thing from us walking from the play to like Grand
right.
Central.
That's
So
hilarious.
maybe it took 20 minutes to get home,
I
but
hope your wife had the next day off.
yes, we both did. And since the baby was at grandma's, we were able to sleep in. Because then we got home at like whatever it was, 2:33 a.m. And I was ready for some pumpkin pie we had left over. It was
That's amazing.
gonna have some pumpkin pie and some ice cream. So we watched one YouTube video I threw up, ate that, jumped in bed. I was kind of farting around on my phone, fell asleep. I didn't get up till I think 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Hey, at least you have somewhere to take your kid. That was something we never had. We
Oh,
never
with the
had
babysitter.
my mom was too old to take care of her alone, and nobody else wanted to do it, and Haley's family's all in Ohio, so it's like we
Oh,
never had any kind of help.
yeah,
It
we
was
had lucked
rare.
out with Steph's mom. Yeah, being close and all that because we've done this before. We went to New York before, and she took the now that Gwen's 10 months old, it's easier to do overnight sleepovers.
Yeah.
I don't know what age it's gonna be where she's gonna have that, like, separation anxiety and be, like, super upset that we're leaving. So we'll
Is
see if we
mother-in-law fairly young? Like,
Yeah,
would
I'd
you
say
say
so.
60s?
Yeah, or 50s or 60s,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, 50s even, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
See,
So
my mom's gonna be 80 in December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom's 75.
So
So,
my mom must have turned 70 right after my daughter was born.
oh, okay. Yeah, and my mom can't watch the baby at all. Even, like, if I'm like, "Hey, gonna drop the baby off, I gotta go to the store, like, locally," it'd probably be too much for her. Like, if I'm there
Right.
mowing the lawn or something like that, she can kinda keep an
Maybe if
eye
you're
on it.
there, like, to
Right,
run in right away.
essentially, so or if anything, my aunt will come over to my mom's house, and they'll both watch the baby. 'Cause we had to do that, we had to go to a wedding, and I think my aunt came over for a little bit, and then when Gwen was asleep, my aunt left, so my mom's just kinda there in case the baby wakes up, but pretty good.
There you go. Sorry, I thought
What
you were
else?
about to say something, so
Oh, no.
I was gonna jump in
He's like
here,
waiting.
and, I was gonna say, me and Colin have made it all the way to the final level of Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, shoot, nice.
Yeah, we sat down, over Thanksgiving break and took a lot of time and kind of switched back and forth because it's like we kinda, like, he's like, "Oh, I wanna do this part," or, "Dad, can you help me with that?" So kinda go back and forth. And I thought for sure we were gonna beat it during Thanksgiving break because we had, like, all of Saturday night and Sunday to do it, but
Oh, yeah.
I guess we got busy and never sat down and finished it, but, like, I was really kinda hoping we would beat it on Thanksgiving break because I feel like that would be, like, a good memory, like, "Oh, I remember Thanksgiving, we beat Luigi,
Right.
Luigi's Mansion." So, we'll have to sit down this weekend and finish it off because we are right there at the end.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
that'd be
but,
good.
I have enjoyed that game a lot more than I anticipated. Because when I
Nice.
first played it, it was weird to me that you couldn't jump,
Right.
and some of the
Well,
controls took a little getting used to as well.
did you ever play the I wonder if your son would like the, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker
No, I never
game?
played that one.
'Cause that one's like a puzzle type game. You can't jump either, and you're in, a certain area, and you have to find ways to, like, go up a ladder or go up a
I feel like
platform.
I've played mini games of that.
Okay.
Was there, like, little sections where you're Toad on, like, a 3D World on the
I
Wii
think
U?
that's where it kinda sparked from, when they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's make a whole full game like this."
Yeah, I think that would annoy me. I think because I didn't really love doing those little parts with Toad.
Mhm.
So I couldn't imagine playing a full game of that. That would drive me crazy.
Right. Going back to Luigi's Mansion, I definitely got hung up on a lot of the puzzles, so I had to do a lot of looking up, like, "How do I finish this room? Where's
Yeah.
the thing in this?"
Colin would be like, "Look it up, Dad," and I'm like, "No, we're not looking it up. That's taking away the fun. I don't wanna," like, because I like to like, looking it up is like an absolute last resort for me. I'll play something like 50 times, and I'm like, when I can't because there was, like, a volleyball guy,
Mhm.
and finally I was like,
Yes.
"Oh," I was like, "I need to pick Luigi to go over there and untwist that thing or something."
Right, I
And then,
remember that.
he spit water at Luigi. He's like, "Oh, I need to hide behind this wall and then get his attention, and then after he goes back, then I can," so I got like, we had to, like, figure it out, but it was a
Got
lot
it
of
done.
fun. I can't wait to finish it, actually.
Nice. Yeah, I ended up staying up, few of the nights. I did finally beat God of War on PS5. There's a ton of stuff I could still do, but I'm like, I'm all set. I got other games to play.
Right.
So then I also went back and the game I made the video on that I was frustrated, Cathedral, I did finally beat that game.
Oh,
So,
nice, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, finally, put this one to bed." I had to upgrade some other stuff, and I was just on the last boss for, like, 2 days, just going back and forth, and then Steph was next to me, and I was like had the Switch, I'd, like, play a little bit, put down, so, "Let me try it again." And I was like, "Oh, oh," and I was like, "I beat it." I was like, "Take a picture," and it stinks because like, you beat the boss, and it's a black screen, and then it just says, like, Cathedral, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought it would, like, at least
Give
have
you some
credits
kinda
or
right.
yeah, but then it did have a little bit of ending at the end of it, so I was like, "Okay." I was like,
That's how I f
I'm done with it."
that's how I felt when I beat The Messenger. I put that game down for a long time because
Mhm.
when it went from linear to nonlinear, I got lost, and then I did all this backtracking, and I could not figure out what I was missing, and then finally I picked it up, and somehow I just happened upon whatever it was I was missing to get to the next part, so
Yeah.
then when I finally beat it, I was like, "Oh, thank God." Got all the music notes, and
Yeah, I'd almost like to go back and play that one again
that
'cause I
game was
definitely had a good
I
time.
know we've mentioned it recently, but that game was so cool.
Yeah, I believe Aldo was telling me he was gonna I don't think he's played it before, so he wants to stream it, on what does he do? He does, like, the library streams once a week or whatever, but definitely a fun one for sure. Cathedral, I don't know if I would still recommend it to anyone because of how hard it ended up being, like, the difficulty curve was so high.
Right.
There were, like, some armors that I was missing, before like, when I made that video of being frustrated, I hadn't had the best armor in the game yet.
Right.
So I was watching, tutorial or walkthrough videos, and he mentioned something, or I've seen a comment of them saying, "Oh, like, if I didn't have the opal armor, it would take a lot more damage." I'm like, "Where do you get that?" And,
Right.
search it up. Oh, okay, it's like, 150,000 coins. So I had to, like, farm for gold. So then I had to look up, tutorial, what's the best place to farm for gold? Because then that's going to take hours.
Yeah,
So,
when I was playing the original Ninja Gaiden, well, I say original, on the Xbox, the first of those series of games,
okay, the
I
Sigma ones, like,
yeah, I remember I killed bats for, like, 10 hours to upgrade my sword to what they called the wooden sword,
okay.
which who knows why a wooden sword would be more strong than, like, a metal one, but it was, like, awesome. But, yeah, I remember farming forever on that game for
Yeah,
the chore.
on some of the games, I guess, it's necessary. So I got that going. So now the games I've started was I went back to Dead Cells, which they have a ton of DLC you can get, and there's actually a Castlevania DLC
Oh, nice.
where you can play as like Richter and Simon and a few others. I think it's $10. And I did see one of my friends, if you don't already own Dead Cells, for $20, I believe you can get a physical copy of the DLC.
Okay.
So I have already owned, the physical copy. So I would have to pay $10 for the DLC. I'm like, do I just pay another $10 and get a physical copy with a cool cover? I don't
Mm,
know.
yeah. I picked up a couple games for my son for Christmas.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I don't want to say it too loud because I think he's in the other room, but Smash Brothers and Minecraft.
Nice.
Could you hear me?
I did,
Good.
yes. Surprised he didn't have the Smash Brothers already. I feel like that's a staple game to get on Switch.
Yeah, but we only get like one or two games a year.
Okay.
So what we have is because it was mine before it was his. And he's
The
kind of
Switch.
adopted it now, but
Okay.
got a lot of digital releases. But as far as physical games, Mario Odyssey and Zelda, which I got when I bought it initially,
Mhm.
because I bought it used. Like it came out in March. I bought it December. Somebody was selling it around Christmas,
Yeah.
and I paid 250 for my Switch with the original box that came in, and Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Since then, we've got Metroid Dread, Metroid Fusion Remake, or whatever it is, Luigi's Mansion,
Metroid Prime.
Prime. Thank you. Yes. Um, and some Pokemon game my son wanted, and what's the other one? There's one more. Can't remember right now. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
Oh, Kirby,
Oh,
Forgotten
that's
Land.
right. You did say like the Kirby game. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all we have physically.
Right.
It's
Nice.
weird
Okay.
because I almost don't count the digital ones as games that I bought.
Right. You're like, it's on the eShop. It's whatever. It doesn't count.
Yeah,
I don't see it on my shelf.
exactly.
I did go out for Black Friday.
Oh, I was gonna
Uh,
ask you that.
not on Black Friday, but the weekend, because there were still, stores do like weekend sales or
Right, right. They
whatever.
give you like 3 days to get it.
Yeah, and funny enough, hey, shout out to Eric. Eric came through from Retro Gaming Pandemic.
Yeah, didn't y'all hang out?
Yeah, he was in New York on Saturday because he wanted to go to the Nintendo store in New York, and then him and his wife came through Sunday to Retro Games Plus in Newington, Connecticut. We met up over there. Well, actually, we went to a Savers first, which was in Newington, and then went to Retro Games Plus. So he's going to have a little like game hunting video on his channel, on the
Sweet.
Retro Gaming Pandemic channel. But we hung out for a few hours, did some shopping. I picked up on PS4. Let's see, do I have the
I just wanna say, since you're looking for that, I love Eric and Hannah.
they're a fun
They
couple
they're
for
they're
sure.
really great, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's the,
They
cool
came to my wife's hometown in Ohio because they only live, a couple hours away in Columbus when we were
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so we were in Retro Games Plus for, like, I wanna say, like, 2 hours, 2.5 hours just browsing through.
Wow.
So, we saw this in the showcase. I picked up, it's Axiom Verge. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah, yeah.
if it would focus on this thing here. Guess it won't, whatever. So, it's a collector's edition. So, it came with the game, and the game was actually, factory sealed. No one
Oh,
had
wow.
opened the game. So, it came with the game. There's, like, a documentary, DVD, and it also came with a
Russ, what is that based off of? Is it like a Metroid-esque game?
yeah, so it plays similar to a Metroid, you got your sci-fi, but it's also, like, biomechanical stuff, like, it has, like, these weird, like, I don't know, faces and everything's, like, alienish or whatever, but it has, like, tons of different weapons that you can use, and then there's, like, a gun that you can use on certain things that are in a different plane, okay? Like, they're there, but you don't see them. 'Em, they're kinda glitching, and you use your
Okay.
gun, and then you bring them into this reality that
Okay.
now you can jump on them or whatever. So there's a lot of cool mechanics into it. So it's not just like, "Oh, it's a Metroid clone," like, whatever.
Gotcha.
But I did end up live streaming it, the other day, and we played for 3 hours and kinda got into it, so I'm playing that,
Had
and
you
I'm
never
playing
played it
Dead Cell.
before?
No, never before, and they have
Oh,
a
see, I
sequel.
thought you played it before for some reason.
So it's out on Switch too and,
Yeah.
Steam and all that. I don't know exactly what year it came out, but it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. It's got a unique soundtrack and stuff, so I'm interested to I said it has a little DVD you can watch of the making of it and see how it goes through. So, again, I try to, like, look up these games, like, "How long is Axiom Verge?"
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, it's only, like, 18 hours or something." I'm
That's
like,
not bad.
okay, totally doable. I looked up though on Dead Cells, and I was like, "How long is Dead Cells?" And they're like, "If you just want the core story, I think it was like 30 hours." And then it was like, if you're a completionist and you want to beat everything, it was something crazy, like 600 hours or something.
What?
I don't know. It
No.
it was
Thank
like
you.
way up there, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Who's
Maybe
playing this
David
game for
Apuzzo
like?"
has time since he can beat Breath of the Wild twice and complete it.
I'm like, I'm all set. I'm just doing it. And I don't know if I explained it before. I've been kind of explaining it while I was live streaming, going back and forth. So I don't know if we talked about it before in the podcast, but with Dead Cells now with their update, they did include a assist mode. So
Okay.
so you could kind of dial in how you would like to play the game, and they have a little thing saying like, we just want you to experience the game and have fun with it. So you can put down the enemy's health. So it's like they have, very little health, and then you can dial back how much damage they do to you. So you can, make it basically super easy mode if you want to.
Yeah, see, I don't like that though. I'll feel I would rather just not play it than play it like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want challenge, but I don't want
Mhm.
it to last forever. Does that make sense?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's for me, if it's too hard, again, like I was made my video for or whatever, it's like I don't want to spend 10 hours on this and not really making any progress. I must rather play on super easy level, and I'm just kinda experiencing the story, essentially,
Yeah.
than being
See,
like,
I'm too
"Oh, I'm stuck in this part, I'm stuck in this part."
I don't wanna I have this weird perspective where I don't want to manipulate the game to make it easier, but I also don't wanna play it if it's super long. So it just has to be, like, already perfect for me to wanna play it.
Gotcha, yeah,
Like Metroid Dread.
yeah, that one did have some challenge, I think,
That
for
had
sure
plenty of
towards the end.
challenge, it was just long enough,
Mhm.
I didn't have to dumb it down.
Well, I'm curious to see how far if you end up continuing with, Metroid Prime to complete that one.
Yeah, I made some headway the other day, but now I'm kinda stuck, so I'm kind of, like, trying to figure out where I missed 'cause I got the map, so I
Mm,
can see, like, all the areas I have been in, all the areas I haven't been in. So, I'm missing something, because I don't know if Prime is a game you have to do a lot of backtracking,
You do, yeah.
but I feel like I don't know where to go next. So in my mind, I'm thinking I must have to complete all these other parts before it'll let me move forward.
Right, or maybe you're missing a power up or something.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I got to figure that out. But like I said, we put a lot of time into Luigi's Mansion, so I didn't
Yeah,
play it a ton.
focus on
But
that first.
but I am making some headway, and I'm really enjoying it. And like I said last week, when I found that auto aim button, that
Right,
changed the
helps out.
game.
And definitely, like, when I played it, I used a walkthrough, like, if I was stuck, like, because I got towards the end, and once you kinda get familiar with the areas, because it doesn't end up being as big as you think.
Right.
You're like, "Oh, this game's huge," but then you're like, once you play it a lot, you're like, "Okay, now I know all the areas." And I got towards the end, and in order to unlock the final boss, you need to have found each artifact for, like, you get to the area and there's, like, stone pillars of each person or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's you need an artifact for each one.
Well, good
And
to
if
know.
you
I'll be keep my eyes out for those artifacts.
and, like, I didn't have, like, 6 or 7 of them, so I'm like,
So then you
I
had to
got
go back.
I gotta go artifact hunting, and I don't know the direct way to each area, so I'd have to be like, "I'm going for this one," and you have to, like, loop, 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 loop. Okay, I
Right.
got it. That was 20 minutes. Alright, the next one. Whereas if I kinda knew where everything was, okay, I wouldn't spend 2 hours, 3 hours looking for these things.
Right.
But
Okay. So note to self: be looking for artifacts before I leave the
yes.
area.
Yeah, just to kinda this way you don't have to dial back and do that all at the end.
So, like, is there some parts like you won't have access to an area? Like, say you need like the heat suit, the various suit or whatever.
Right.
So you have to find it in another place and then come back to that level to enter that zone?
Yeah, or there'll be, like, you can enter certain parts of the zone, like, maybe there'll be an elevator that comes in through the back of the area, and you can access, like, a few rooms, but not
Mhm.
the whole area.
Gotcha.
But, again, I just use a ton of, like, walkthroughs trying to be like I think IGN has a pretty good one where it's like, "Okay, this is what you have, like, here's the next couple steps." And I, wouldn't read it exactly, but it gave me a like, whereabouts, "Okay, I'm kinda headed in this area." Like you said,
Gotcha.
I don't know how much you want your handheld
Yeah, I
through the
don't
game.
I like to try to figure out most of it. I won't say that I sometimes I do fall back and, like, look at a walkthrough, especially if I start getting frustrated by it. I'm like, "Okay, I've been working on this way too long. I need to just figure out what the heck I'm doing." But that's why I stopped on the Messenger, 'cause I couldn't find my way. I didn't wanna look it up, so I just put it down, and it took me, like, a year to pick it back up. Surprised I was able to find anything after stepping away for so long.
Right, well, that's what I brought up with, when I was streaming the other night with Axiom Verge. I was like, I feel like this is one of the games, like, if you put it down for too long, you're gonna forget, like, what
Dread was
weapons
like
do
that for me a
what
little
and all
bit. I
that.
got stuck in Dread for a while one
Mhm.
time, and then when I figured out what to do, I was like, "I can't believe I didn't think to do that earlier."
Well, again, yeah, some people said if you sometimes you gotta walk away, get a fresh eyes, fresh mind on it, and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't think to try that."
Yep, that's pretty much exactly what it came down to.
So that's why it's good to have, I guess, a lot of games to kind of bounce to. Okay, I'm playing this on the Switch. Maybe I gotta go play something on PS4 or on my phone or Game Boy or something for a little bit and
Yep,
switch it up.
switch it up,
That's it. Switch it
just like Nintendo Switch.
up. But oh yeah, so back to Black Friday though. I just worked at Costco for that Friday and Saturday. I didn't do any shopping other than going to the retro games store on Sunday, and they were doing 20% off anything in the store. So I ended up getting the Axiom Verge for like $22, I think.
Nice.
And I think they had on Black Friday was like 30% off
Oh, wow.
everything in the store, I want to say.
I'll have to ask Andy how it went for him, but, we did most of our shopping for our kids online, got all that knocked out. My wife said she bought some stuff for herself, so I have about a $250 limit if I wanna buy myself something for Christmas, which is usually about the case, about 250 per person.
Okay.
So, I don't know, we'll see. I don't see myself buying anything video game related, surprisingly. Maybe
Yeah.
something for the truck to mod it.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Um, I did get this in the mail. I ordered it a little bit ago, but I got a new Nintendo game right here. It's called Torgman Adventures,
It's
and
like Captain America.
I guess there was a expo called Torg Gaming Expo.
Interesting.
So I
You'll have to
guess
let
it
me
was
know how it is. Looks cool.
yeah, I guess it was sold there, and it was made with the NES Maker apparently because that's on the box there. But John Riggs and John Hancock, all those guys, I guess, did videos on it. Maybe even um, Square Pegs might have done it as well, Jay.
Nice.
But I'll probably end up streaming this one this week. And it's funny because it does say part one, so maybe they already have a sequel planned for it.
Hmm.
So this came in the mail. I got some cool 3D printed parts for my car that I'm gonna do a video on. Came in the mail. I didn't look at them yet, but I know what they are. And then a company sent me a controller to do a video review on.
Nice.
So I have, I checked it out and I was like, this looks pretty cool. Like, yeah, I don't mind. Like, send me the controller. They're not paying me, but I get the controller for free
Hey,
to do the
win-win.
video. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's
Is it
content.
wireless? Is it wired?
Yeah, it's a wireless controller for the Switch that almost mimics like a GameCube controller kind
Oh,
of
okay.
thing.
So I'd hate it.
So they did have one that was kind of unique where it reminded me of an Xbox controller because it was green and the way it was shaped, it almost reminded me of like a Duke controller from the original Xbox.
Ugh, not a fan of the Duke. I like
And I was,
controller S.
and I was like, let me go with this GameCube looking one. Kind of looks sweet.
You know what? Did I ever tell you my theory on controller S?
No.
I think they named it controller S because when you look at it on the box, it looks like it says controllers. So you get more than you thought you were getting more than one.
Oh, as like a way to have people buy more, essentially. And you're like, oh, it's only one. Well, I'm not going to return it. I needed a controller, but
So then you go back and you buy another one. But what a stupid name, controller S.
the old controller S.
Like, why not controller X or controller 35 or whatever? Yeah,
Right.
like
Anything but,
anything except S to make it look like it says controllers.
yeah.
Hate you, Xbox. Just
It's
kidding,
never,
love you.
I never played Xbox. So, I mean, I never owned an Xbox. I played, I want to say Xbox 360 and the one. I think I
Dude,
played a little bit of Gears of War.
when I first saw Xbox 360,
Hmm.
it was like seeing the Super Nintendo for the first time. I was like,
Okay.
the future is here.
The future is here. Yeah, I don't know why it never piqued my interest. I just stayed Nintendo and PlayStation.
See, I was Nintendo and Xbox.
But I never got like a PS3 on release. I wasn't like on the radar of what like PlayStation. I'm like, yeah, I see the games, but I don't see a reason to get a PS3. I got a Wii when it came out, and I got the Wii U, so I was just like
See, I never
Nintendo
did any
all
of
the
the
way.
Wii stuff. I didn't do
Mhm.
the Wii or the Wii U. I was so obsessed with Halo, like I couldn't wait to play it on the 360.
Well, funny enough, I got the Wii on Black Friday. I camped out at a Best Buy. I went there the night before we finished Thanksgiving dinner. Went to my mom's. I got a chair and a blanket and stuff. Went to Best Buy. Got in line. I was like third in line. Stayed out all night for like 8 hours. They handed out tickets.
Yep,
And I
that
got
was
my Wii and I got Zelda. What was it? Skyward Sword, I
Skyward
think,
Sword, yeah.
or it might have been. It might have even been Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that might have been
I
the one
think it was
actually.
that one. Um, I think I went home. I don't think I even played it. I think I just passed out.
Dude, I remember that was a wild time when the Wii came out. I remember, like, people scalping them outside of Best Buy, and it was like, "Wii, $600."
Oh, dude, for sure. Like I was in line so you wait in line. Then when the store opens at 11 a.m., they came out at like 8 and they were giving us tickets. So this way, they're like, we got 15 or whatever. They give us each a ticket. They're like, still got to stay in line. The store don't open till 11. And some lady came and she was looking to get one. And a kid in line was like, I already got one at home. I'll sell you my ticket for like $100 so you can wait in line. And she did that. So she
Yeah,
paid $100 to him and then whatever, $200
or
for
like
the system.
199 for the system.
Yeah.
I always thought the Wii was like the stupidest name ever.
Yeah, I guess it could have been better, but I
Like,
love the commercials where they're like, We would like to play.
See, I thought that was stupid.
That's clever. That's clever.
Okay.
The Wii U, that's where they went wrong.
That's totally where they went wrong. Should have named it anything but.
Could have been Wii's. They added the S on that.
Yeah, doubt it.
Because
I don't know.
the main downfall was everyone thought the Wii U was
It was like
just
an
like
add-on.
add-on, like the gamepad. You're just buying the gamepad.
Should have
They
called
didn't
it the
know
Revolution. That's what they were supposed to call.
the
I
Revolution.
think the 64 was supposed to be the Revolution.
Well, the 64 was Ultra 64. I remember
Ultra.
seeing it.
Man,
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe the GameCube was supposed to be the Revolution, or maybe the Wii was supposed to be the Revolution. I can't remember. That was
Uh,
it was a code name,
okay. That they had used.
or either they had considered it and then switched at the end. I don't know. Kind of like the Ultra.
Here's your little
I digress.
Nintendo backstory. Cool.
That's almost a full episode for you guys.
What do you mean?
We're at 36 minutes on
Oh
Work
yeah,
Life
yeah.
Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Usually they're shorter on Wednesday, but we had a lot to discuss.
That's right.
So we appreciate you guys hanging out, listening. Quick shout out to our Patreons. We got Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Limigood, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16. Guys, call into the show 949-682-9277. You can leave us a voice message, future topics, how we're doing, what's on your Christmas list. I don't know.
Tell us to
Something
stop
cool.
matching accidentally.
Right. Or tell us what clothes you want to see us matching in.
That's right.
That's about it. As always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun bit by bit. We'll see you later.